All right, listen, yesterday we had the pleasure of sitting down with one of the X Factor judges, Demi Lovato. Is she not the sweetest?
Lovely kid. 20 years old, not a kid anymore.
Most honest kid, and a very revealing interview. Here's what we talked about with Demi yesterday.
We're at the home in downtown LA, and the whole concept of the episode is not just for us to bring them to our homes and let them in, but it's really for us to get to know them and just have a place where we can talk to them one-on-one and give them advice and say, hey, I've been watching you this whole competition. I obviously put you in my group because I think you're really talented, but this is what we got to work on. And I don't sugarcoat it, you see. I say what's on my mind, and hopefully they take the advice.
You've been in the entertainment world, and you know how hard it is to get that lucky break. Do you find yourself wincing and your heart hurting how tough is it to say?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this since I was like 5. The first time that I ever got turned down on an audition was when I was 5. So, and that was because I couldn't read the script, because I couldn't read yet. So, but it still hurt. And over, the next 10 years, I just continued to fight for it and work really hard for it because I knew that's what I wanted to do. And when I turned 15 and I got my first break, it felt so incredible. And I was actually 14 when I got it, but it just felt so amazing. And so when I have to tell somebody no, my heart hurts a little bit, but at the same time, I know that if I were to send them through, it wouldn't be their right time.
So what's it like being the youngest one on the judges panel?
It's definitely very intimidating to be sitting on this panel because everyone that I'm sitting next to are icons in this industry. And I felt a little pressure going into it, and I thought, wow, I'm gonna have to sound like I really know what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, I've been doing this for so long. I just may not have been in the spotlight for as long as they have.
I feel like you're holding your own with this group. But American Idol has the Nicki Minaj and Mariah feud. Are you fighting with anybody behind the scenes?
Nobody's fighting, and it's,
darn it!
I know, we let all the fighting, we let that happen between the contestants, and you see a lot of that on the show behind closed doors and backstage. We actually didn't see a lot of the drama until we watched it at home ourselves, and we were like, oh my God, I had no idea that person was so rude.
We would love to know what happens when the camera's off and you guys are the judges are just yakking away.
We don't really get any candid moments because the cameras are always rolling, and I think that's what makes our show interesting in comparison to others, is you don't just see what's on when it's on. You see what's going on backstage. You're hearing our thoughts, you're hearing the contestants' thoughts. So no, we've never really had any moments where the camera stops rolling and we're like, what are you thinking? But there have been times where we will say things that probably aren't.
Like, I know you're
Come on!
LA and I have some inside jokes. I'll tell you that.
How are you feeling, by the way? I know that you've had your struggles. Do you feel like you're in charge of it now, or do you still find yourself every day kind of dealing with it?
It's so not easy. It's a daily battle, and it's something that I've talked about when I first came out and told everybody my issues. This is something that you have to work on every single day. And I find days where, maybe I don't make time for my meditating and the things that I need to be doing, and I don't make time for that. And then my head goes to a different place, and it's like, all of a sudden I'm having bad days, all of a sudden I'm kind of losing my hope, and I'm like, okay, why am I feeling this way? I do a check and I'm like, this is why I'm not doing the work, I'm not putting my recovery first. And there are times where, my management is so supportive of just putting my recovery even before work, because the goal is to have a long-lasting career, and you can't do that unless you're in a really good place mentally and spiritually.
What are you recovering from exactly? Is there one diagnosis, or?
I've come out and talked about my issues with eating, anorexia, bulimia. I dealt with that from a very young age. I've also dealt with self-harm, and just, the entire thing is, it doesn't matter what addiction you had, it is addiction. And it could be with food, it could be with other substances, it could be with self-harming, but at the end of the day, it's an addiction, and I have to focus every single day on not falling back into bad behaviors.
Let's get back to the show for as this season continues to kind of bubble up. Is there anyone you've seen so far where you've said, I want to record with her, or I want to record with him?
There's people that I think, wow, I would love to record with that person or that group. But there's also people that I look at and I think, wow, I would love to just help that person. Like, set aside the TV show. Like, I just want to take this person under my wing and say, look, this is what we got to do. Like, we can do this. Come on, let's do it. And I think that's why you see me so passionate when I talk to the contestants, is because I really do care. And they're like my babies, even though some are older.
Before you go, I got to talk about these tattoos.
Okay.
All right. I see some tattoos on your feet. What do they say?
It says, let go and let God. And
when did you get these?
I got those about a month ago here in New York.
You did?
Yes.
And why did you want that particular saying?
It's a saying that I'm really passionate about, you know, when I think, oh my gosh, things are going so crazy in my life. I have a couple mottos that I like to live by. One being let go and let God. It's like, I can't always deal with my issues, and some things are out of my control, and there's bigger obstacles in life that I don't know how to face yet, so I'm just going to give it to God. And other ones are just like, you can do anything just one day at a time. You
sound like the perfect person to mentor people who are beginning to try and get in this field.
Thank you. I mean, I still am not perfect by any means, and I still am learning things daily, and I still have so much to learn, and I'm so excited because I am only 20 and I do have time to learn these things. So, but I want to help people.
Awesome job.
Thank you so much.
You think your team, somebody on your team is going to win the competition?
I know someone on my team is going to win this competition.
We'll see about that.